Oh, why does that sound so loud? There we go. Turn it up.
Whoa. Unpopular celebrities. Yeah, we speak that truth so effortlessly. Living like no script, just energy. From the block to the base to the legacy. Unpopular, yeah, celebrities. Started with a combo, now the world leaning in. Four vets in the room, let the stories begin. No filters, no scripts, just wisdom and sin. We talk, hustle hard, and the places we've been. From the field to the mic, that growth is the lesson. Turn pressure into presence, that's the real confession. Got the crowd tuned in for the raw and the rare. You can feel the truth breathe through the air. Unpopular celebrities. Yeah, we speak that truth so effortlessly. Living like no script, just energy. From the block to the base to the legacy. Unpopular celebrities. Talk music, talk ball, talk rank and salute. Every topic on the table, every word in pursuit. We the voice for the ones that the world overlook. Turn pain into punchlines, life into the hook. Yes, in the chair, we breaking the mold. Every episode's heat, every message is gold. No gimmicks, no mask, just purpose and peace. When the lights come on, that real don't cease. Unpopular celebrities. Yeah, we speak that truth so effortlessly. Living like no script, just energy. From the block to the base to the legacy. Unpopular celebrity. We ain't chasing fame, we redefining the game. Give light to the name that the system can't tame. Got the people tuned in, cause they feel our lane. It's the voice of the real, not a chase for acclaim. Mic check, then the vibe start to settle for a host. One stage and the truth is the medal. So before that show start, let the beat breathe steady. When you hear the name, just know we ready. Oh yeah, when you hear the name, just know we ready. Unpopular celebrities. Yeah, we speak that truth so effortlessly. Living like no script, just energy. From the block to the base to the legacy. Unpopular celebrities.
It would give me great appreciation if we got it. You know what? I'll just do it myself. Let's do this. Okay. Almost ran that twice. Hold on. What is good? What is good? Hello. All right, let's see if we can. Yes. All right. That's still working per usual. Let me see. If somebody's on the Facebook, if they could send a message, I could do it myself, but let me see. Test. Oh, you just went out. All right, he just went out. Nope, it's not working. Huh. That thing's still not working. What up? You went out for a second.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to get the Facebook working still. I don't know why it's not working. I tried to change everything I could. I mean, I don't know what else I could change. Boom.
Change.
Okay, let's try this. It says it gotta be. What's up, famous? Who are you? Famous. Oh, what up, Dale? Man, I always forget that's you.
Changes.
Nah, he keeps it the same. It's not really on me, but I'll say it's on me. He always changes things. Sixers, what are you? Oh, you a Philly fan. I forgot. What's up, Arthur? Lee Sean Walter Jr. I see you and hear you loud and clear. Appreciate it. So I can't see your comments. I'm trying to get that up. Sixers and 6, bro. You a dang lie. Good to go on Facebook. Thanks, Mike Ransom. I'm trying to get it so we can see the chat on Facebook. That's what my goal is. So that's what I'm gonna work on. while we're doing this. Why do I hear myself twice? There we go. Facebook. That's what my goal is. So that's what I'm a. Ah man, what the heck? You said we went out.
Who?
Oh, I thought you said we went out for a second.
No.
Why? How are y'all watching on Facebook? That maybe I'm not getting the link because I don't see none of these comments. You went out for, but they're coming across. Let me try to refresh this.
What's up, girl?
Okay, there's the link right there. So take this. Take this. I know y'all hear me while I'm just talking and rambling. You could go ahead and take over the show. I'm just rambling, trying to get my thoughts together.
What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday. What's up, man? Happy Sunday. Peace, human beings. It's your boy, Philly DC, live and direct again for another Sunday, the Lord's Day, with my partner in crime, Pete. And as always, you got Dell, Jessica Player. We are your unpopular celebrities, live and direct again, live and direct, live and direct, live and direct, live and direct, live and direct. Thank you for being here. We're here for another show. For all those who are brand new, make sure if you're brand new, check out all our work on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts. You will find all of our old work. I'm sure you will enjoy it. And if you do, make sure you subscribe, like, share, subscribe, share the goodness. And then also, if you would like to send us a donation, feel free, hit us up on the DM. You know what I mean? It costs a lot of money for Pete to keep the lights on. You know what I mean? So send him some donations or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you want to donate to give me some new glasses, I'll take that too. You know what I mean? So go ahead and get the donations out there. So we got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about a very controversial topic in the military. We're going to focus strictly on the Air Force. And that is enlisted performance board reports versus awards. Do they really give a clear snapshot of how someone is good at their job? And for most of you folks, it has impacted you. Somewhere in your career, you may have gotten an EPB that you felt like did not reflect clearly on what you did during the year. And it could have cost you a promotion. On the flip side, you may have been put in for an award and your award package did not stack up against other people and you lost. And you know the stuff you did on your award was impactful, but it got lost in translation. So we're going to talk about supervisors writing performance statements. We're going to talk about how supervisors who are really good writers are at an advantage versus supervisors who suck at writing. We're going to talk about the way folks grade awards and EPBs. And we're going to also talk about why is it that what is captured on paper is more important than what is captured visibly when a person does something. So we're going to talk about that. While we're doing that, again, we welcome you being here. Put down in the chat if you got some questions or share your stories of how this may have impact you. And then also, if you got any ideas of how we can fix it. I have my own, but you may have some ideas of how we can fix it. And rest assured, don't think for 1 minute no one's reading it, because they're reading it. And we're going to talk about that too. We're likely going to start the show off first by spinning the block on a topic we had last week, talking about the Senior NCO Academy. Why is your mouth wide open? That's kind of weird.
I'm sorry. Suarez put a long comment in there. I'm still trying to fix these comments. I have no idea why they're not coming up. It's very irritating.
Anyway, okay. So we're going to spin the block and talk about what we addressed last week when it comes to the Senior NCO Academy and their packages. So last week, as we've done before, we pulled up a picture from the Senior NCO Academy class. And my partner, Pete, he was in that whole light too. So he knows what he's talking about. So we see these pictures, we comment on them, right? And then you had a vast majority of people put in the comments all on IG how they agree with him, like, yo, these pictures look bad, uniforms look bad or whatever. But then you had a small group of people that actually was pissed. Mostly because there was a slight little mistake about the two color pants. You know, the pants is different than the top. Yes, we realize that's the army. Okay, it's not that big a deal, people. You know what I mean? It's not like the world's coming to an end because there was a small little mistake on that. We acknowledge that. However, that doesn't take away from the analysis of the uniforms in question in the picture. You had, I'm not gonna mention any names, protect the innocent, but these people was like, oh, you ain't got nothing else better to do but to make fun of people uniform. What kind of person are you anyway? Really? Like, bro, grow up, man. Grow up, bro. I mean, come on, man. Like, really? Isn't this part of the problem? When people find something that don't make sense or is wrong, you don't address it. This is our way of addressing it. You know, one way you can fix it? Do better, man. Do better. Somebody should have pointed it out besides us, but we felt the need to do it. And we're going to do it again, too. We're going to do it again. And just like we put in the comments, we say, yo, if you upset what we said, come on the show. Come on the show. Pete or I do not run from people. Come on the friggin' show. We can talk about it. But don't think for 1 minute you're going to get on the channel and be like, oh, these people, all they do is sit there on their couch and make fun of people. Yo, grow up, pull your skirt up, bro. Pull your skirt up. You know, oh, well, we'll support you when you blah, blah, blah. Hey, newsflash, my man. There's a lot of people that support us, and there's a lot of people that agree with what we said. Our intent is not to go out there and just make fun of people. We tell it like it is. We call it like it is every single week. Nobody is safe. And last I checked, we get shots thrown at us too. Live. So what does that tell you? That tells you that, yo, everybody get it. Everybody. So again, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna see if my man got something to say. I know he's still working on stuff.
Yeah, I'm still working on this. So, I think I got it. Somebody put something in the thing. Somebody, please, man. I don't think I have it. God dog it. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I'm really at a loss. If it doesn't work now, I'm at a loss. So hopefully it'll work, but I'm not sure if it will. I can still see the comments. I know he can see the comments. See it? Oh man, Jake, I can't get it on my end. I don't know where I'm missing the mark. I'm going to keep trying, but I don't know where I'm missing the mark at. Like when I type in there, I can see it. It's very irritating, to be honest. It's like I have too many windows open or something. Oh, let's do this. Let's try to see, Jake. You're not coming up on there, but it's coming up on the other one. Very irritating. Very irritating. I'm just expressing my irritation for everything going on. See, I can type myself in there. Anyway, we'll keep the show going. Like Philly said, man, first and foremost, let me get this out the way. You know, when you watch like Inside the NBA, you know, when you watch like First Take, when you watch First Things First, they usually, if they don't have the host on there, they usually bring host on. And 9 times out of 10, the host are going to be former athletes or former players, right? Same thing with the NFL. Same thing with the MLB, same thing with the NHL, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with soccer. They're all former players. That's what we are. We're former players. So we have the right to talk about the military. Just because we're not in anymore doesn't mean we can't talk about it. That's first and foremost. Second point, Like Philly said, it is to bring light to a situation. It is not to clown anybody. It is not to talk trash on anybody. Like I said in the post, y'all posted this. I didn't do it. Y'all did it. Y'all want people to look at this. When you post a picture, you want people to look at your finest moments. Nobody, not a lot of people, post a picture of them taking a dump on the toilet because they don't want people to see that. They don't take a picture of them just waking up with crust all in their eyes because they don't want you to see that. So when you post a picture, you want people to see it. You look your best. Now, if you post a picture, your own personal picture, and your pants are all wrinkled, you look all, I'm not going to talk about you. That's you. But this is your professional image. It's like your LinkedIn profile, your professional image. And this is what you want out there in the public? So last, but certainly not least, like Philly said, for y'all that don't think this is a big deal, I look at y'all like, what is wrong with you? And some people say, like, let me know you're not military without letting me know you're not military. Like, let me tell you, we on here live every week for the most part, every week. We're going to make mistakes, and I usually make the bulk of the mistakes on purpose or on accident. And that's okay. It's okay. But for y'all to take a 20-second clip and think that's what the whole show is about, watch the mother. Oh, whoa. Let's rewind this back. Watch the mother show before you criticize.
I agree. Facts.
But love and appreciate all y'all. Much respect.
And you know, man, it's like these are the same MFers that'll get on watch these little shows or little clips on Facebook of people fighting in stores and whatnot and comment on it and say something funny about it. But like your feelings hurt about a 20-second clip of a video because it's not like we went on there and we said, oh, yo, look at this person. He look like he's ugly as duck. Look at this woman. She fat as duck. Whatever. We looking at their uniforms, which has a clear guideline of how they're supposed to look. Yo, what's up? External UF 9263. What's up?
Yo, Brady McCoy, we're talking about the Instagram post. If you ain't seen it, let me know. I'll put it back on here so you can see it real quick because you would be a very interesting person to have comments about this. But go ahead. I just want to address that because he just commented on that.
There's clear AFI instructions that shows it has pictures too.
It has pictures
how
too.
your uniform is supposed to look. And in the Brown Book, I'm not out that long. I still remember the Brown Book is Air Force Handbook 36/2118, I believe.
Oh.
That states that as a senior NCO, as a professional altogether, your uniform is supposed to be squared away. Paraphrasing. Pause. You're supposed to be squared away. So when you are in a senior NCO academy, you're a part of the top 3, and you go across stage, you take a picture. One, you as the person is responsible to make sure your uniform is tailored, pressed, and squared away. Number 2, you as part of a teammate or class president is supposed to make sure your team uniforms are squared away. Number 3, you as a class instructor should make sure your flight that you instruct, that you teach, their uniforms are squared away. Last but not least, the commandant is responsible to make sure his people know to check his people. Now, ultimately, it is up to the individual to make sure your stuff is squared away. If you know, because come on, let's be honest. You've been in that school for 6-7 weeks. You know when your pants don't fit. You know when your uniform is too tight or it's high watered. You know. But I don't know, for whatever reason, you decide you don't want to spend no extra money. You figure you're going to, full send. I'm just going to get up there. I'm happy to graduate. And they take these pictures. Sometimes when I'm about to take a picture and I know I'll look my best, you know what I do? I go to the back.
Facts. Take your butt to the back.
Or I try to step out of the picture.
Yeah.
For you folks to get in this picture and y'all uniforms is jacked up,
Come on, bro.
Saying what everybody else is saying in the audience watching.
Right.
They just thinking it. They just not saying it.
Hey, for y'all that haven't seen it, external YUSUF. I don't know what USUF is. I'll show you. And for Brady, hopefully you're still on here. Let's show you. This is our Instagram page, so you can find us on Instagram. This is the clip that everybody's talking about. A quick 20-second clip. Let's go ahead and play it. This can't be real. This is real. This is real. Here's an instructor. I don't know who this guy is, but he's more put together than them. What are you doing, bro? It's like, who is looking at your uniform? You see their stripes. This is a senior math sergeant. He hasn't changed his blues since basic training. And we're just going through the photos. Like, this is in no particular order. I'm just looking at him. Just looking at him. Let's go to the next one. Oh, this is them again. I don't know who these gentlemen are. Marines. I don't know what their uniforms stand. I know his pants are a different color.
He needs some milk.
His pants are a totally different color. Troy, that was my instructor. Come on, bro. This can't be real. That's it. That's the clip. That's the clip. We just bringing light to people's uniform. And later on in the show, we're going to show you that there are people who actually care about their appearance, or they just do it smartly. Maybe senior NCOA just doing it dumb, but they're doing it a lot more smart than they are. So that's all it is. And you know what? It's all fun. And like I said, if anybody got a problem, y'all are more than welcome to come on the show and express your problems or express your differences. I don't care. I will listen. You're not going to change my opinion, especially not on that. Not when I got pictures and evidence. But I'll listen. I'll definitely listen. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The Academy should be doing PA reviews. Thank you, Mr. McCoy. Thank you. 100%. It's and to me, why I get so passionate about it, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And some people said in there like, they got more things to worry about. They do. I'm not saying they don't, but that's definitely part of it on the list. And the Phillies point, it's not like you didn't know. It wasn't like it was a surprise inspection. You know what? Before I got out, we did SSRs. And before SSRs, people were coming up to me like, oh, my pants don't fit. Oh, I need new blue. So you at least tried to get them together. You didn't just wake up the next day and be like, oh, I'm just going to put it on, whatever. Or the bottom of your shoes were about to blast off. So you decide to get new shoes. Like, all these things are very common. It's nothing that's uncommon. And anything that has happened, other people have went through it too. You're not the only one. Stop thinking you're the only one in the whole United States Air Force that uniform does not fit properly. You're fine. Just fix it. That's it. You're okay to make a mistake. Oh, I make mistakes all the time. It's okay. The moment that you try to be perfect, I don't want to talk to you. I don't like perfect people. This goes to the point of people who are good chiefs and bad chiefs. The good chiefs have all been in trouble somewhere in their career because they can be relatable when people get in trouble. The chiefs that I find the most struggle or hard to communicate with are the ones who had this perfect, picture-perfect career and have never been held accountable for stuff, but just stair-step their way to where they're at. I find those are the hardest ones to relate to. I find those are the hardest ones to communicate with. Bradley McCoy said, should be a policy to not post unless approved. and it is 100% part of the curriculum, or why not wear sweats and a tee? Absolutely disappointing for sure on multiple levels. I said that too. Tony Bostic, what's up, big dog? Pride and health does a dose of fear kept me right. Yeah, I say that too. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact of it's so many people get to see your mistake online. And I see their side from it. It's always we always wonder like if you're going to end up on Airman NCO page. There's some, but my thing is, again, this is all preventable. Like to me, the first time we did this was your first shot across the bow. And we look and it's the same thing. And we're not the QC guys of the PME graduation. We're not. But at the same time, anybody that watches our show, anybody that knows our show, we talk about everything. We throw more than darts at uniforms, everything. And just to Pete's point, I'm not perfect too. And trust me, I've been in in weird positions where people, I had my uniform was jacked up or I messed up a briefing or whatever. But you know what? I didn't get embarrassed about it. I learned from that ish, and then I get better. You get better. So to Pete's point, just get freaking better, y'all. If you an instructor and you're hearing this right now, get better. Check your people. And this goes beyond the academy. If you are in a unit and you're having these SRRs, if you're still having it, be the supervisor or wingman you're supposed to be. Check your people. And if your uniform is jacked up, you can't say you don't know. Again, it's in the AFI. They got pictures in there, people. Check your ish. If you need new pants, go get them. Stop buying Jordans. Stop buying video games. Buy you some new pants, man. You get clothing allowance every year. Get it. We're not upset. We just letting the record straight. And you know what? Hey, I'll tell y'all firsthand. First of all, we appreciate it. Like I told my man on there, we thank you for the engagement. We respond to every comment most of the time. You're not going to get us off our rhythm. Our rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Like we stand by what we say. 10 toes down. Is that what Cardi B say? 10 toes down. We stand on what we say. So again, you want to talk about it on live, come on the show. More than welcome. All right.
I think I figured this out finally. So let me check this. It's not updating. That's the issue. Tony Bostic says way beyond the academy. Yes. And Brad McCoy said, if the instructors aren't checking and balancing, they got the wrong instructors, in my opinion. Bro. Right. Amen to you for that.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is the instructors look squared away. Mm-hmm. It's very crazy. Can we just segue to the other the first Art Academy?
That's fine.
All right, I'm just gonna put this up here so y'all can see. So this is what should be happening at an academy graduation. All right. So we're gonna go here. Let me make sure I can zoom in to this. This is their latest graduation photos. And like I said, this is 3 days ago. They posted this. I didn't. Right? Can you see that? Oh, you only have access. Maybe you can see it on the thing. Let me
live, yeah.
Okay. So you're a little bit behind on live. So I'll see if I can give you access. Maybe it'll look a little bit better. All right. So here you have somebody who is up there, some Chief Master Sergeant Air Force, Otto. I don't even know who he is. Don't even know who he is. Whatever. But it's not the important part. His stuff looks squared away, right? Nico Johnson over here on the left looks squared away, right? Here goes somebody else. Fine. See how they do their pictures? You see how they do it? Stop it.
Look
Can't be
how
mad.
pressed their uniforms are.
Right. You see how they do their picture? He's a distinguished award or got some high level award, so you're up for him. All right, here's their full picture, right?
Sharp.
You got my pararescue dude, whoever this dude is in the middle. I don't see any flaws except for my man's ribbons, right? I will point this out because this is why you do not wear magnets on your Blues jacket.
It may not be magnetic. Somebody just popped. The cookie might have popped off.
Could have. So that's the only issue I see. Not a major issue, but an issue. Is a good dude. He's thanks, Junior. I'm sure he is a good dude. Here's another picture. Right? Find me a discrepancy in here. Everybody's stuff is ironed. And this is just the first sergeant, so you can't say it's a guard reserve thing. You can't say that because they're guard and reserves in the first sergeant academy. But let me go to most of the other pictures. You see how they're just waist up, and that's it, right? Everybody waist up. That's it. See, his ribbons are messed up, but that's all. Like you said, maybe the thing popped off. I don't know if they're magnets. It's pretty far off, but I don't know if they're magnets or whatever. But and people ain't gonna catch that, right? But I don't see any really big uniforms. I don't see nobody wearing. This is somebody who cares about their academy, who cares about the product that they put out there. That other bullish that we call the Senior NCO Academy is a effing joke. I said it. It's a joke. How do I know it's a joke? Because I could tell by your appearance. And it's a joke that's not funny. Because y'all are the top 2%. And let me further point something out, and then I'm done. All these people had to get stripes put on after they graduate, because you can't wear these stripes while you're there because you're not a shirt. So after you graduate, that's when you put that on. You can show up with it on if you want to, but you just can't wear it. This is all their photos. Everybody. I'll let you guys look at them. I'm not seeing nobody with a muumuu on that looks like a top. And they're all different sizes. I'm not saying everybody looks like Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. They're all big, small, short, tall, and somehow all their jackets fit. And you know what, Senior NCOA? If you upset, come on the show. I don't care. I just want to know what y'all doing to fix it. I'm done.
Oh man, you know what? I'm glad you showed them joints, man, because that just shows you right there. It ain't hard. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Tony B says, "Yo, Pete on one today." Yes, he is. Brady said, "Who gives a duck if it's guard and reserve? There's not one thing on the uniform that says I'm guard. The people that say that as an excuse aren't the right ones either." Dang, Brady, you busting shots this morning. All right, player.
Because that's what people said. Oh, they're guard reserve. Give up. You getting paid? Put your uniform on. Like, what is going on? Jay Vibes, what's up? Hey, Big P going ham today. No, this not even ham. This regular me. Don Jr., I want to make sure I read your comments. Sorry, I can't put these up here. It's very annoying. But
I can see them.
All right, had someone say they couldn't wear their blues because they didn't fit and couldn't get new ones because he was broke. His master sergeant let that slide. I told the commander I'll handle it if he can't. Then, but I'm going to tell him to be less fat or less broke. Wow, that's crazy. That was me as a new diamond. Yeah, okay. I went from POL to a flying unit and was not ready. I came in hot. That guy ended up losing a ton of weight He came to me and said, I was hurt and mad when you talked to me like that. Then he said, thanks. The other leaders just watch me get fat and let it slide. Big success story right there.
Yeah, it's just how you talk to people. You know what I mean? Like to the person's point, yeah, it was tough. Feedback is always tough. But if you're given the tools to right the ship, then you appreciate it later. You know what I mean? You just got to get over the initial shock. So for these uniforms, if I remember correctly, in the video, you pointed out the very few that was there that had good uniform.
Right.
But nobody commented on it.
No.
All everybody was focused on was the bad uniform.
Right.
And then if 1 or 2 or maybe 5 people that had their little feelings hurt, oh, it's the wrong pants. Like, bro, again, shut the duck up, bro. You ain't got nothing else better to talk about. Don't just assume because somebody, you know how many times a commentator said, oh, yeah, that was holding on number 65. And it wasn't 65. It was on number 84.
Right.
You think anybody getting on his timeline? Oh, you got the wrong person hold. Shit happens. Excuse my language. Stuff, it happens, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. What y'all really should be pissed about is that once again, these people, maybe not so much people who are not military who commented, but people who are military, especially you out there you other shirts that commented, the 1 or 2, and the Chiefs, 1 or 2, y'all feelings hurt. But I guarantee you, if we didn't say nothing and you saw that picture, you probably in your mind was thinking the same thing, but you ain't gonna say nothing. You ain't gonna say nothing because it wasn't important to you. But it became important once it ended up being on social media and a bunch of people agreed with us. Now all of a sudden you want to play super person. Put your cape back in the drawer, bro.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If you have your opinion, I have my opinion too. Let's see the comments real quick. McCoy says they all need to watch my 7 Ps. Is that that would help significantly? Is that proper planning prevents piss poor performance? That's 6 Ps. I'm missing 1. What are the 7 Ps? I think that I've been told the 6 Ps a long time ago. Don Jr. says, don't recommend that style, but you need to correct them and help them, not ignore them or tough combo. Fake Donovan in the building. Love and miss y'all from Japan. Tony Bosick said, I got to see these comments. Same Tony. Hey, y'all go on our IG page and look at it, man. They're some are pretty reckless. You know, they get pretty crazy, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Gotcha. The 7 Ps to live by. Somebody told me about the 6, so they just tried to have to steal all yours. But yeah, definitely true, man. And I will. What's up, Gene Harrison? We were just talking about Shirt Academy, so you could talk about that too. How many effing blues inspections we had, and then comparing that to senior NCOA. I just wish that the senior NCOA commandant, if he cares, which he probably doesn't, would get on here.
No. I don't know if he changed out since then, but he's a squared away dude. Again, this doesn't mean that he's totally, no fault on his own. I mean, it's just like any unit. If something happens in your unit and you're in charge, you're going to get some fallback on it. But ultimately, the blame cascades down. And there are
But it starts at the top, right?
Now, hear me out. If you are a commander of the unit, the first one that get it is the commander.
Correct.
But you have a choice as a leader. Do you want to be a micromanager? Or are you going to trust your people to do their job? I would believe he's a person that trusted people to do their job. Like someone mentioned in the comments, they're instructors. It is a special duty position. They got the job for all intents and purposes that because they are squared away enough to be an instructor.
Right.
However, 9 times out of 10, the commandant does not see it until the day of the graduation.
True, I give you that. I give you that. But he's still at fault.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not at fault. There's some fault on his end, but he's not the primary person. Ultimately, the primary person is the people in them damn pictures.
Yes.
That's the primary.
Yes.
Then it goes up to the instructors or the class president, then the instructors.
Yes.
And then it goes to the commandant. I'm not saying the commandant don't get no.
Right.
But I wouldn't say he doesn't care. I believe he cares. And just because he doesn't come on the comments like these other, I won't say that name because that's not right. Like these other nice people.
Right.
And say something. I'm sure it bothers him. You know what I mean?
But then it like Brady McCoy said, once the once the commander in chief are aware, they better own it or they aren't the ones either.
Well, what do you mean by they better own it? How would they own it?
So like, let me go to Tony Bostic's comments. You have to clearly outline what the standards are first before you can say, I trust my people to do what was right if they don't know what right you're going to get. What you've seen in those photos. I think I read that wrong, but I get your point. To my point with this is not the first iteration. So I give you that one. First, you, like Tony says, you lay out your standards. And if you're talking about these instructors are all senior mass sergeants, bro, you know, I should not. If I have to tell you the standard for what uniform need to look like on graduation day, you don't even need to be here. That's first and foremost. So he, the commandant, or she, whoever it is, should not have to lay those boundaries out. That's number one. Number two, once you have failed me, now I have to micromanage because you are failing yourself, you're failing the students, and you're failing me. I don't mind you make yourself look stupid, but don't make me look stupid. So that's why I say that he has fault. And you, to your point, you're not saying he's unfaulted. He does have fault. And I totally agree with you. He's way down on the list or up on the list, whichever way you want to look at it, as far as the person being at fault. But this is the third iteration that just I've seen and we talked about. Actually, second that I talked about. When do you step up and say, all right, enough's enough?
Yeah.
And you can't say you didn't see him.
Oh, yeah. He's seen them.
Next time it happens, I'm tagging them in every freaking picture. I'm making sure they see it. Like, it's not to belittle anybody. It's I want y'all to do better. And Brady McCoy says, own it. Hey, guys, I've been made aware of some stuff we need to drill down and be mindful of the basics. If they don't own that interest message, then it's a different problem. Tony Boss said, I'm mad they're defending this. That's crazy as hell. Yeah, that's why we were mad. Like, people are actually, and I'm not here just to bash the military, bash the Air Force. We talk about the good stuff that happens. But even in the video, like Philly said, there was other videos where we mentioned things were good. Nobody talked about it. Quiet. But as soon as we say negative stuff, it's like an outrage. And some people are outraged like we are that this is happening. And some people are outraged that we're talking about it, which to me is lost. We're a podcast. That's what we do is talk. And if you're a keyboard warrior, that's what you do is type. I respect your profession, respect my profession, our profession. That's simple.
Yeah, I agree. Only thing I would say to that is again, I'm confident that I know this dude for a while. I think he's squared away. However, perhaps it's one of those cases where you give your people a little bit too much rope.
There you go.
And then because of it, they continue to hang themselves with it. Meaning, this analogy meaning you find something wrong, you address it, and then they keep doing it and they keep showing up. I think the only reason why this is bad is because somebody's actually pointing it out. And then other
Right.
people are seeing that we're pointing it out and they're agreeing to it. And regardless of what people say, like for us, I mean, it's our largest watched short on Instagram. Over 350,000 views. So what does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? We gained like 40, 50 more followers just because of that. So the way I look at it is these people that were upset, if you went and you chose to follow us, then you must understand what we're trying to say here. That's all it is. So anyway, we look forward to seeing the next one. And just like, and real quick, circle back, we showed the first Sergeant Academy graduation pictures. And I'm sure there'll be a short made off of that. An example of how you should look in your service dress uniform for graduation pictures.
Right.
The only difference between this class and the other class is that the class that we showcase today is wearing a diamond. The other, and they're both senior NCOs, both classes.
That's right.
Both classes. For some reason, these folks in First Sergeant Academy made sure their stuff was squared away versus the senior NCO Academy that just seemed like they just rolled out of bed and went to work, or they were in the flood and came to the graduation in their pants shrunk. Whatever you may be. And shout out to the one or two people, again, that Pete recognized in the video that said you were the outlier, but nobody mentioned that.
We even gave an award out.
Yes, we did. There's a young lady on there.
God,
Yeah, nobody mentioned
man.
that.
Yeah. All right, couple comments, and we'll get to the main topic that we have. On that type of team, I would care a lot if they made us look stupid. Message. Hey, you look stupid. I look stupid. We look stupid. The academy looks sus. Fix it. McCoy also said, way overdue, Philly.
Yes.
Tony Bosick said, it's hard as a leader of a unit to hear the buffoonery about your people. Believe me, I know as a chief in the SFS squadron, everybody and they mama has something to say about the gate guards. I didn't choose to cry. I chose to engage my people to unificate the trash and highlight the good and keep it moving. Ignore and yelling at those who point out is weak sauce to the max.
I agree 100%. Hey, you nailed it. That is true. It's hard. It's hard when somebody throws shots at your unit or your flight. It's hard. And Tony made a great point, especially at the gate when they say, oh, your gate guards look unprofessional. They were laying down in there. They would sit back in their chair. Blah. It's hard because you want to protect your people. But sometimes it's just like it's like your kid. Like they say, your kid did this in school. You be like, nope, not my kid. And you found they did it. Yo, sometimes you just gotta be like, look, you messed up. We need to fix this.
Right.
Okay, moving on.
One more comment, then we'll move on.
Right.
My boy Corey Range, congratulations on your retirement, by the way. Good talk. I know in the SF world, if your uniform is squared away, or if your uniform is squared away, you aren't ahead of the game. You take pride in looking good and having your beret on point. That feedback can come in different ways. If your troop respects you, that's a big point. If your troop respects you as a person, they would be able to handle that feedback. If they don't respect the person and only look at your rank, your feedback doesn't mean anything. Bruh.
Facts. That's what Tony said. Oh no, it was I think it was Don Jr. Same thing.
Yeah, that was Don Jr. Yep.
Facts. Yep. Facts.
All right,
moving on. So we're gonna talk about another interesting topic that's controversial that we've all experienced, and that's the difference between, the EPBs, your enlisted performance reports, and your awards. So in the end, in essence, it's like people get their reports done every year, and you get an award if your supervisor put in for one or you put in for one. And the awards and the EPBs, they don't necessarily match, and they don't tell the full story of if an individual's doing a good job or not. You'll have somebody to have an overinflated award package, but their EPB is trash. Or you have somebody with a phenomenal EPB, but there's no awards. So I figured we start there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quick and I'm gonna say something controversial. So y'all feel free to comment and throw spears and darts. You get an award if you're liked. You also get a good EPB if you're liked. At the essence, most people just do the same job, especially for awards. We won't go into the deployment awards, but we can if we really want to. But award basis, man, I've seen people get commendation medals for starting up a trash fund or starting up a snack bar. I've seen people who have sat there and literally worked their butt off for a few weeks and got yearly awards because they did one freaking event. And they didn't culminate it into one event or a singular event. They said it was a yearly award. So I've seen all kinds of stuff. And I'm sure y'all have too. But being honest, if you're liked, you get what it is. And Philly says it the best, so I'm sorry I'm going to steal this from you. He always says it's easy to punish or discipline people you don't like. It's very easy. So I'll flip that on the other side. It's very easy to give somebody an award if they're well liked. Very easy. You can find a reason. I have seen Chiefs, and I'm going to pick on Chiefs because usually that's the first line of defense when it comes to these packages. I've seen Chiefs turn packages away or decorations away just because of the name on top. They don't even read the content. They just be like, oh, Johnson? Oh, yeah, he don't deserve this. You remember he did this. I had problems with him with this. I didn't get along with him with this. He wouldn't listen to me. Bruh, that ain't got S to do with what is written down. Read what's written down. And then I love when they bring out the little thing. Man, I used to have this senior that I used to work with in the desert who used to bring out this thing. He said, sustained superior performance. What the that mean? How long do I gotta sustain it? A day? A week? A year? 7 years? What is sustained? During the period? So every single day during that period, if I don't come up to your standard, I don't get awards. So that means everybody who did came up to your standard every single day. Bull. I'll stop.
All right. So what are you saying? Are you saying visibility outweighs actual impact?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yes. Tony Bosick said that's a bit skewed. Award packages are reviewed. A lot of comments. Award packages are reviewed and tweaked by the best in your squadron or wing. EPBs are normally done by one or two people and shouldn't be an award package. Okay, we're talking about two separate things there. And you're right on that. You're 100% right. Anthony Mack, politics are everywhere. Being liked is definitely the green light. It's no different from the rich making contributions and showing face to these big businesses. We know how it goes. Hector Gonzalez says, oh man, strike nerves here. Sometimes it goes down to flavor of the quarter. Visibility plays a big role. Okay, let's break this down. Philly, let's break this down. One more comment. Jefferson says, people will hold stuff against you for years, especially if they don't play the game. All right, so let's go to Mac's first point, right? He said politics are everywhere. Being liked is definitely the green light. Pass that off to you.
I can't deny that he is right. I mean, it's easier to do something nice for a person if you like them. Difficult to do something bad to somebody or tell somebody something bad. They can't have something if you like them.
Correct.
And it goes vice versa. Is it right? Here's my thing. Like, you're going to have, you know how they say they have your blue chippers, right? You think about sports. You have some players that are like take Allen Iverson, right? My favorite. Like, there were actually people, you know, when he came out, like, we were talking about practice, right? There were some people in Philadelphia that wanted to fire the coach for holding Allen Iverson accountable. You know why? Because that's Allen Iverson. He's the best player by far on the team at the time. Let him do what he wants. He's the star, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all the other players wouldn't be able to do that
Mm-hmm.
because Allen Iverson is that dude. So when you think about it from the military standpoint, if you have somebody on your flight that either one is a really good worker, two, great personality, three, they like the same stuff you like, you're not going to tell that person, hey, can I have a day off tomorrow? No, you can't. You're going to try to help the person.
Right.
If they want to get promoted, you're going to put a little bit extra time in their award package to get them promoted. So I say all that to say, is that wrong?
Yes.
I'm kind of 50-50. And here's why. Because you help people that benefit, that do the most work. There's something to be said. You know how they say, and I know Sky Roy says, I think he stole it from me, but that's my personal opinion. You know how they say, the more you do, the more credit you have?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
If you have a lot of credit, you're able to buy a lot of stuff on credit, right? It's the same for performance. If you have great performance, you have high credit. So when that time you really need to cash in that credit, I'm going to give it to you. So you might say, Philly, that's not right. You should treat everybody the same. Everybody's not the same in some cases. It just depends on the level of you doing it.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to read these comments. Let me read the comments and I'll get back to that. Corey Range says, yep, if you're still in, go sit on a board for grading packages for the MSG Wing Awards. They be grading people high for just doing their job because they like the unit.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Jefferson says people will hold stuff against you for years. Yep, I read that. Hector said, good point. Tony Boss said, we're confusing being liked and being respected.
We'll go back to that one.
Sloy? I can't pronounce your first or last name, so forgive me for that.
Dante.
Maybe it is Dante. Yeah, it is Dante. Have the courage to be disliked. The ones that win aren't The ones that win aren't champions? I don't get that one, big dog. Maybe are champions? I don't know that one. Hector says, being likable is easier to defend behind closed doors is not cool. Max says, being liked outweighs being respected. Being respected outweighs being liked in the military world. Interesting. Mac also says, for example, being funny and the life or being funny and the life of a party or the life of the shift. But your work is considered poor. I guarantee you can still get an award. I've seen it.
Yeah, that is true.
McCoy says, it's only wrong if you are doing it. It's only wrong if you're doing it because you like them and not superior performance. Many troops I don't like got awards, and I've helped get the packages to the front. So how much work, McCoy, and I'll read these other two comments, did you have to put in just because somebody's not liked comparing to somebody who is liked? That's the part that I want to harp on right there. How much more work did you have to do for somebody? You too, Philly. just because you put this in front of the commander or whoever has to sign it, and you know they're not liked in the squadron. You already know you're going to war. Compared to somebody who is like with the same exact package you just put in front, like, oh, this is Jefferson? Good to go. They don't even look twice at it because they think they know the person. Just because you win doesn't make you a champion. Winners want the trophy. The best champions don't strive for the trophy anymore. Hove did that so they wouldn't have to go through it. McCoy said a lot. Yep, but I brought receipts every time. Max said it's the good old boy system over again, but just 2.0 version with the mask. Let's not be fooled. Hector says people who challenge the status quo are often overlooked as leaders because they can't be perceived as working against the established culture. People who challenge the status quo are often overlooked as leaders. I think there's a balance where you could push the status quo, but if you do it every time, if you're that one in the staff meeting that they say, hey, we're going to go do this on the weekends, they'll be like, why? Oh, we got to write more tickets. Why? Oh, we got to go stand at the gate. We got to stand outside. Why? If you're that person, yeah, then you kind of get overlooked as a leader. You have to really pick and choose those battles. All right, I don't want to go off topic. We went around and around. You said, is it wrong? What's up, Thor? You said, is it wrong? I'll definitely say it's wrong because that's not what's written down. If we go in the military, Jessica Player says, if it ain't paper is vapor. If it ain't written down that you're supposed to do that, what gives you the autonomy to do it? I know you're going to say there's a lot of things that aren't written down that we do. But I'll go back to saying, if it ain't on paper, then why are we following it? Why aren't we following it? Because it says we're supposed to be free from religion, all this other stuff, and we're supposed to be treated equally. But obviously, that's not true.
You're not going to like this, but that's being very naive. There's no such thing as if it's not written down, you don't do it. It's implied, but that's not how it works, do I dare say, in the real world.
But if I get in trouble, aren't you going to go by something that's written down that said, I broke this AFI, I broke this rule, I did something again? So it works both ways, don't it?
Yeah, but you know how they say there's no such thing as a standard punishment for something? There's always different things you have to consider.
That's what they say.
Same for that. If I got you and I got Tony Bostic, and you went out there and you had a customer said that, all right, you was being disrespectful in the traffic stop, yada, 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 yada. And you've had cases where you were proven to be disrespectful in the traffic stop. And Tony Bostic had the same complaint, but his record is clean. I'm more likely to give Tony a pass than you. You know why? Because his credit is higher than yours. You've proven in the past that you've done this. Whereas Tony, maybe he had a bad day that day. I would likely just tell Tony, yo, that lady was tripping, man. Yeah, man, you got to be careful around them ladies. Whereas you probably get a letter reprimand.
And that's correct.
You have no credit. Not to mention, when we tried to correct you before, you were an a-hole about it. Here's another example. Let's say you that same person that was an ish bag the whole year, and you get to the fourth quarter and you kill it. And then you want to be put in for a award. Yeah, I have an uphill battle. Because, some people say, well, he was an ish bag the whole year, but not the fourth quarter.
That's right. It's a quarterly award.
However, there is some that credibility comes into play. When you get up there and you compete for an award and they remember past instances during the year, whether you think it's fair or not, people are going to hold you against it.
But do you think that's fair?
I think some of it is.
What? I mean, what? 51%?
I need time. I need time. Like, to me, it's almost like somebody, I love it when people get into an issue where they get an Article 15 UIF control roster, and then 2 months later they killing it. And the supervisor come back and say, can we pull this out of his record? He been killing it the past 2 months. Like, bro,
Right.
that's not enough time.
Okay.
Oh, we trying to make this guy recover. No, not enough time.
Well, okay, to break down the point for that is because if it's not in the record, then it looks like it never happened. And if the commander changes out, they have no idea. So some of that is keeping that in the record for when we change leadership, that you have, like you said, a credit check on this person. So you are really looking at this like a credit report.
Yes.
Whereas if you missed payments 3 years ago, or if you foreclosed on a house 4 years ago, it's still going to hurt your credit for the next 3 years because it's a 7-year hold on stuff like that. Or if you missed a couple payments 6 months ago, your credit is still dropped. And just because you were perfect for the last 6 months does not balance it back out. You are really looking at this like a real life credit report.
This is an example. Yeah. Analogy.
Yeah. That's where I and y'all let us know in the comments, right, what you think. If somebody's been a dirtbag, got in trouble the first quarter, let's say they showed up late to work 4 times, they got a LOC in the first quarter. Second quarter, they got a LOR for whatever happens. You pick whatever. And then fourth quarter, they come in and they write a package for Airman of the Quarter or NCO of the Quarter, whatever. Are you going to look at this like saying this person still needs time? Or are you going to look at it like it's a quarterly award? It's what they did in the quarter. Because to the quarterly award point, I can't, if it's October to December, I can't use anything in September and I can't use anything in January, right? So how are you going to use anything against me in those time periods? I want you to think about that. I'm reading these comments. Hector said, sometimes people need time to earn back credit. At least keep it within the reporting period of the judgment. I agree with that. I've seen that. How do you get a DUI last quarter and all of a sudden you're submitted for a quarterly award next quarter? Man, if you don't sit your ish down. I don't see the problem. It's a quarterly award.
It's more than just the award. See, this is the point where everything, just because it's not written in it doesn't mean it's not considered. And this goes back to the original start of the conversation. Just because, I always tell people all the time, I love it. I think you mentioned it. I love it when people say, you can't hold that against me. I never got paperwork for it. Just because you never got paperwork for it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It still happened. And so depending on what you've done in this scenario, like say this person get a DUI last quarter and they kill it the next quarter, they want to put in for an award. Bro, don't forget about this DUI. Like, you did great this quarter. I get it. This will be used to build you up, but you need to chill. Like, chill. You need to work on you first. You getting an award for a quarter, putting in for a quarter, and you just recovering from a DI 9 times out of 10. Now that DUI, you probably lost a stripe. Maybe you got a 15 control roster. Now you want to put in for award. Not only that, most units I've been in, you cannot put in for an award if you got a control roster anyway. So why are you even asking?
Control roster. That's written. Well, that's not I think that is written down. You can't PCS, you can't go TDY. All that's written down if you're on a control roster. Huh?
They don't say anything about an award.
Okay, so if it's not there, then why not?
Nah, forget that, player.
Okay, Tony Bostic said every case.
Says, sit your ass down.
Tony Bostic said every case and situations is not the same. Humans will be humans. You can't kill a kid for one mistake or put them on a pedestal for one great accomplishment. You have to weigh all things depending on the time frame of the award. Roddy Dunn says facts. Tony Boss says get a DUI last quarter and then save a life the next quarter. Fam, you don't qualify. I know you flying. I know you fitting lying. Oshan? I think I'm saying Oshan Jefferson. Sorry about the name pronunciation. Sometimes it is more symbolic. The nomination is about building credit. Okay. McCarthy said that's credit analogy plays a factor. It is about the message that is being delivered to the unit. I can be ass all year and then turn it around and win a Corley Award. That is sending a message that I got to keep my nose clean for 3 months and I'm Gucci. Here's my question. Here's my question. What is the difference between that and people who just do things to check boxes to get promoted?
That's a big difference. That's two total different things. Two total different.
And the reason I say this is I don't see a difference between the two because you're just doing things to get promoted. You are literally like you are putting on an award ceremony, not because you care about the award ceremony, not because you want to see it successful, because you want to see it successful so you'll get promoted.
What's the
difference? Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. So if there's nothing wrong with that, then what's wrong with me being a shitbag, in quarter number 2, and then me being squared away in quarter number 3?
Think about what you're saying, though. Think about the comparison you just made. You said you don't see nothing wrong with somebody doing an event that's going to help them get promoted. And you're saying, or you're alleging, it's the same as somebody being a shitbag for 90% of the year and then bust their hump a quarter just to get an award. There's a big difference. And obviously, it depends on what you've done. If you came to work late in February and you killed it the fourth quarter, I think that's a little unrealistic to hold that against you. But to the example I think that Tony made about a DUI, that's something significant. You can't just get a DUI in a year and then all of a sudden you kill it on the fourth quarter, you get an award. How about we use that as a bridge point to get better? But don't be sitting there, recognize me. I did great in the fourth quarter. Bro, you need to sit down. Build yourself back up. Depends on what you've done.
All right, here's a no, didn't mean to do that. Hold on. I messed that all up. All right, I was trying to put in there the fact that we have a voicemail available where y'all can get on a voicemail and leave us a message, and we'll be able to listen to your message live on the air. But I didn't get the proper link, so I'll get that to y'all. If y'all interested in doing that, let us know in the comments where you don't have to type in there. You can actually just leave us a voicemail. We can listen to it live on the air and respond to it live. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to leave a voicemail than typing all this stuff in. It's only 1 minute long, but if you're interested, let me know. I'll send that to you. Let's get to some of these comments real quick. Dante says, what recognition matters more, genuine appreciation or performance applause? They're both about the same. To me, they're both about the same. Gucci for Tony Bot says, Gucci for that quarter. I bet you won't win an annual. And that's facts. I'll give you that one. They might not win an annual, but they should be able to win for the quarter. They should be able to win for the quarter. Oh, stupid camera. You got the other comments?
Let's see. Rob Roller, this is not related. What's up, Rob? Celtics in 5. Feel free to meet up to watch Elimination Game. I might take you up on that. That would be fun to see. Anthony Mack says, I know you knew Coach Prom P. I mean that lightheartedly, Chief. Don't take two left. All love, fellas. Appreciate it, brother. O'Shawn says if a dude has screwed up his rep, everyone remembers the screw up. Oh, facts. So as a supervisor, if a dude has earned it, I may want to help rebuild his rep, especially if a kid is sincerely doing the work. Okay, let's stop there because using that example, I've ran into this many times. I have scar tissue based off of it. I have an appreciation for supervisors that meet people and they have a discussion and say, hey, look, I know you messed up. We're going to build you up. This is what you need to do.
That's right.
And they do it, right? My thing is, you've got to weigh the issues. It's one thing if you had somebody that got a letter of reprimand first quarter of the year for being late 3-4 times, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter, they're killing it. I, as the flight chief, are going to look at you as a supervisor, and the first thing I'm going to say is, I'm going to say, Peterson.
Why does he always have to use my name?
You want to put him in for an award? No, listen, sir. This is why. He's doing this at work, this at work, this at work, this work. Has he been coming to work on time? Oh, yeah, no problems. He's been coming to work on time, showing up work on time, guard mount, whatever, yada, yada. And I'm like, he has been showing up on time. And then here's the key part. I'm thinking in my mind, the interactions I've had with Peterson.
Don't say my name no more. Use somebody else.
I'm visualizing seeing him in guard mount. I'm visualizing seeing him at his post. I'm visualizing the conversations I'm having with him, seeing if he's down on the dumps, if he don't give 2 ducks, or he's really sharp. And if you're really sharp, you come to work on time, you know your job, your performance is elevated, there's no reason why I should stop you for submitting them for an award. Because I'm not really concerned about the stuff you did that quarter. I'm concerned if the stuff you did that led to the punishment you recovered from. Because you can end up doing something wrong, case in point, the DUI, and you killing it that quarter, but you still didn't learn from the DUI because maybe, I don't know, you came to work late in that quarter, nobody documented it, you may have showed up to work late because you were drinking out all night, you don't smell like alcohol, but we know you was out all night, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm like, yeah, he's been killing it, but he hasn't learned his lesson.
How do you know I haven't learned my lesson?
Through action.
But who is the key holder to if that action has been done or not? Because
the person, in the end, it's like this. Going back to the credit analogy. I, as the person, let's say, case in point, let's say I, as a person, to give you credit. I give Peterson credit for whatever. You miss a payment. Then I have to, hold you accountable. Let's say at the end of the year, all the way up to that time you miss payment, you're making all your payments on time. But then on December, you want to buy something else using my credit. And you be like, hey, I did miss that payment in February, but look, I've been getting payments since then. I get to determine, not you, if you've done enough to prove to me that you earn my trust again. I determine that because I was the one that gave you the punishment, not your supervisor, not whoever, me. I determine that. You don't get to determine that.
I don't disagree with that part. What I would say is, do you think that you are in the right position to say if I earn back the credit or not?
Absolutely.
Because you're looking at this like a real life credit report. Like if I want to buy a TV on credit.
Put too much stock on this. Is just, and I can come up with another analogy to make it easy.
No, that's fine.
But I, as the person and the one that is critiquing your performance and your credibility, you don't get to tell me, hey, I've learned from it, I'm good. No, you have to show me, because I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the one that decides. You don't get to decide. As a supervisor, if I was your supervisor, my job is to go into the gatekeeper and help Sell the idea that you have recovered, but in the end, it's up to the gatekeeper to decide whether or not they have enough to decide that you recover. Rodney Dunn says, so Pete, by your logic, I can be Nino Brown for the second quarter. For the third quarter, I'm MSG POC and speaking at the drug prevention program. I should be good to go.
Yes. Yes.
Hell no.
This is where I'm lost. You have to give people okay time to you have to give people the autonomy to recover. If you are always saying that because I messed up, I have this ball, this 10-pound weight behind me, and I always have to drag it in your eyes to get somewhere, then yeah, I'm going to struggle. And yeah, it's going to be hard. And yeah, it's going to take a lot longer. Whereas if you treat everybody fairly, and when this is the problem, I'm sorry, I should have finished my thought, but another one came to my head. This is the problem. This is what happens when people get in trouble or they do something wrong and there's no accountability or punishment. Because in my eye, once you do the punishment, or excuse me, once you do the crime, you go to trial and you get your punishment, whatever level it is, LOC, LOR, a verbal, it is done and over with. That is it. Move on. We always say that, right? Not a one-time Air Force, not a one mistake Air Force. Move on. But if you're still holding me down and I go out there and be like, cool, I messed up, that's off my back, I'm ready to move forward, and I go and kill it, and you're saying, yeah, I know you killed it, but you remember that thing? I say, yo, I thought that was gone. Now it's still there. So when do I recover from it? Oh, just keep doing what you, just keep killing it. Basically, I'll let you know. Just keep sitting there. It's this is the way I think about it. When a player shows up late to the game, you punish him for that game. You tell him, hey, you're on a 2-game suspension. You're suspended for this game, and that's it. If it's a 1-game suspension, you suspend him for that game. The next game, he's off suspension. He's back. Like nothing ever happened.
What happens to the psyche to the coach?
Huh?
What do you think happens to the coach psyche?
You're going to have to give me more context.
So my point is this. I'll use this analogy. Let's say you are taking your car to get the tires changed. And you get the tires changed, you ride off, you get halfway through the parking lot, you hear a rattling sound. One of the bolts are not already tied, not fully tied. You go back and say, yo, my tire almost came off, man. Oh, my bad. And they fix it. You come back another 4 months later to get your tire changed. You don't mean to tell me you ain't thinking about it. That just happened. You're not thinking about it no more. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm thinking about it, but I'm still going to the person. I'm still going to the person. And then once they do the job well, I'm done thinking about it.
Hold on. That's my point. In your example, you as a player show up to work the game late. I suspend you a game. Let's say the next game you come in, you're about to play. I didn't forget what you did. It's still in my psyche.
Correct.
And even though I'm letting you play, I'm going to remember that.
Correct.
Until you show me over time that you can be dependable. So you may go out there and you may score 40 points in the game. But I give the game ball to somebody else because you at that time, you were supposed to do that anyway. It's going to take time. So going to the example of a supervisor or a person who's the gatekeeper, yeah, you did something bad, a DUI the second quarter. To your argument, you said it shouldn't stop you for putting in for a fourth quarter award. Yeah, you did a great job, but you still need to learn and recover from what happened. It comes down to the significance of the infraction. There's a big difference between coming to work late and getting a DUI.
There is.
Big difference between cussing out somebody on a traffic stop and getting in an assault off duty. It's a big difference.
There is.
So that should be taken into account.
Let's read these comments. PJ, what's up, PJ? How are you been? Absolutely. Credit analogy was a great idea. You don't decide if you get a cash out on a refinance or a refinance for a loan for a new home. Credit needs to be solid. Maybe next year you should reapply. Okay, so you're saying that everybody's on a credit. Roddy Dunn said, thanks for having my back, Pete. Let everyone in these streets know we have backup. Just kidding. PJ said, you must be consistent. Adrian says, I agree. Once somebody receives punishment / discipline, let it go and press. We can't say it's just for 6 months, but bring it up at a promotion board 1 year later. This mindset is outdated and we need to press. If this was the case for me in my career, I'd still be a senior airman 17 years in. There's a difference between being late a few times and assaulting someone. Tony Bosick said, there are two roads. One for those who don't trip up is easy. The road is damn near impossible to navigate for the one who gets in trouble. But if they find a way to make it through, still don't reach their destination. ? Come on, we tripping. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And I get what you're saying, but there's a difference between showing up late and a DUI, right? So the punishment / discipline should be different, but the consistency of it should be the same, especially when you're talking about a quarterly award. Now, if you're saying like Tony Bosick's point, this person in second quarter got DUIs, and then in that year, they come up for a yearly award, yeah, I'll be like, man, get this thing out of my face. But if you got it in the second quarter and fourth quarter, you put in for award, what's the problem? And like and this is the question I have not got answered. If I can't put things I've done great in between, if it's October through December award, if it was September, if I can't put things I've done great in September, how can you hold me accountable for getting punished in September in that quarter? It has to go both ways. Charles Davis, what up? Afternoon, fellas. Hope all is well. DC, holla at me. Okay. That must be an inside thing.
Enjoy today for sure. I forgot. Sucks.
But that is, and y'all, Tony Bostic, Charles Davis, Adrian, PJ, all y'all Rodney Dunn in here, let me know how that makes sense. Back to the question, if the quarter is October through December, if I can't use great things I did in September, how can you use things I got disciplined for in September against me? Somebody make that make sense.
I think either way I'll explain it, you're not going to agree with it.
But no. It's not about agreeing. It's about make logical sense. If there's no way to make logical sense of it,
you there's some elements about it that you agree with. If it makes sense. If it makes sense, that means there are some elements about it that you agree. That's the point I'm trying to make. So either way, I explain you're not going to agree with it, but I will take a stab at it. Again, there's some elements that come into play. One, the infraction. Two, the actions taken afterwards. And then three, the level of performance. Because back to what you said earlier, I don't need you to perform well just to get an award, just so you can get off the schneid. I need you to perform well because that's your job.
Yeah, I agree with that.
When you get put in for an award, people always talk about, oh, I did great. I want to be put in for an award. Congratulations, you did your job. You did a great thing at your job. But just because you did great at your job doesn't automatically mean you get put in for an award. And here's an example. Most units would say you can't put in for an award if you got a failed PT score that year.
That's true.
So, same argument. If I failed my PT test in February, but passed it in March, then I try to put in for a fourth quarter award, they'd be like, oh, well, we need to make sure your PT score, but I passed. Yeah, but you failed.
No, that I don't agree with. If I have a failing PT score and the squadron policy is you have to have a passive PT score, and I'm going once again October through December, and December 29th, I pass my PT test. What's the problem? It's a pass. Don't hold it against me because the squadron policy says you must have pass. It doesn't say you must have passed PT score for the whole year in order to put in for a quarterly award. It just says a pass and PT score. So if I failed 7 times, which should be impossible, throughout the year, but the last quarter when I put in my quarterly award and on December 29th, I passed my PT test and turned that thing in that quarter, I have a passing PT test.
Tony Bosick says, it don't, but it's levels to it you can't ignore. Agreed. Patricia, what's up? Says, I say this, it's not about targeting that airman. However, if the next airman has been on point, why would we not push forward with that airman who's been consistently showing positive movement? For the other airman with the infraction, you can put in for everything under the sun. Don't expect it to be the one that was consistent.
And if you're comparing 2 airmen, then I'll give you that. If you have one airman that's never been in trouble and one airman that has, I can see your argument to that. Tony Bot says, I got love for you, DC, but if we in the room talking about that, win, lose, or draw, we fighting about that one. Charles Davis said, Pete is the kid that is like, but know this, but what about this? I sure am. I'm about what if you can punish me for something, then you could give me grace for something. And if those two things are not equal, if it's not like an equation and they're both not equal on the side of the equal signs for y'all math majors, then it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work out the same. And to all this conversation, I just think it's different styles, and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Jefferson says, if you failed a PT test in 2022 and PCS in 2026, they will bring that crap up. I was fighting for my troop like crazy for something that happened in 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that dude was actually injured. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's crazy.
But I don't agree with it, but I understand why they do it because, again, it's levels. It's levels. When you fail PT tests, it's like the shot heard around the world. I've had people that went up for strat and they failed a PT test 10 years ago. And when they look at their records for promotion, people will identify it.
Right.
And even more so, if somehow they got I hate to say a markdown, but let's say it was one to the left, and they say, well, why did they get a markdown? And they look at their records, PT's test.
Yeah. And
no different than, but here's the interesting thing. On your EPB or EPR back in the day, every block has multiple metrics that you look at, right? Multiple. Let's say the block that deals with PT, right? Standards, right? If you show up to work late one day and you get an LOC, you're likely not to get hitting that mark. If you show up to work and you forget to shave, it's a standard, right? You're likely not to get marked on that. But you fail a PT test, they're going to get you. One to the left. But it's a standard, just like everything else, right?
I mean, if that is a standard, then yeah, I agree. But sometimes
so
I don't
agree that somebody should get a mark to the left for failing a PT test.
If that's the standard.
Okay, so what about, again, going back to if you show up to work late, isn't that standard?
Yeah, if that's the standard, yeah.
Or should they get a mark to the left for being to work late one time?
Oh, I mean, that goes back to if you like somebody or not. I don't think they should. I don't think they should, but I guarantee you if you don't like somebody, they could.
I'm asking you.
Oh, no.
Would you give a mark to the left?
No.
Why not?
Because it was one time you showed up late to work.
So isn't that the same for a PT test? That's one time?
No, a PT test you prepare for and you know it's coming up.
You don't know it's coming up that you got to be to work on time?
Yeah, but things happen.
But things don't happen for a PT test? We can go all day.
I mean, I guess they do.
You got bubble guts. You got, you got squirts, blowout.
Right, but there are procedures for that. Just like, so if you show up late to work and be like, I just didn't want to show up to work. Wait, let me finish. Because you got to give it context, right? If you show up late to work and be like, why were you late? Be like, I just didn't feel like coming to work on time. Then yeah, I'm going to hold you accountable. Same thing for a PT test. If you show up if you fail a PT test, I'm like, why'd you fail it? I just didn't feel like passing it. Then yeah, I'm going to hold you accountable. But if you said, why'd you show up late to work? I'd be like, oh, my alarm clock didn't go off. Okay, that makes sense. I won't punish you for that. I won't discipline you for that. Excuse me. Same thing for a PT test. If you fail a PT test, oh man, I sprained my ankle. Well, okay. Then that's a legit reason. I ain't going to discipline you for that. So you got to give context. You can't just leave those two like that. Charles Davis, I'm sorry. Tony Boston says, strats aren't quarterly awards. Come on, man. True. Tony Boss says, we acting like quarterly awards is 11 times. No, we ain't trying to say that. Justin says, good afternoon, fellas. Hope all is doing well. Bless the Sundays. Thank you. Tony Boss says, get him P. I ain't trying to get nobody, man. I'm just giving my opinion. You almost rather have a DUI versus fail a PT test. Bruh. Wrong one. Hector says, early career mistakes should be treated like learning opportunities. Repeat mistakes should be referred to the PDP. I don't know what the PDP is, dog. I'm be honest with you. Maybe I forgot. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's a fail. It makes sense. And here's what I'll say. Not the last thing I'll say, but I'll say this, and you can disagree. If somebody got in trouble in the third quarter and they win a fourth quarter award, you're going to say, how is the unit going to look at this? Which makes sense. But if you're doing everything above water, then it makes sense. Your leaders, basically your math sergeants or whoever, if you have enough, will be part of the board and can look at this and can explain to people who don't understand. But he got in trouble in quarter three. Progress, discipline, process. Thanks, Hector. He got in trouble in quarter three. How does he win quarter four? You should be able to speak to that. To me, that's easy. To me, that's very easy. It didn't happen in the quarter. Have a good day. Just like if I say somebody life, quarterly packets are usually put in early. So if I say somebody life September 13th, I can't use it for the fourth quarter, even though people do, which is another mistake that happens. Same thing for the discipline part. But back to the original questions, I don't think EPBs show performance at all. Because you can't put anything negative on an EPB unless it's like something illegal happening, Article 15, stuff like that. But you basically have to say somebody's great and wordsmith it to say somebody's great, but they're not that great. Is how you got to say it. Tony Boss said, bro, I love this show. This is so needed in the face right now. People need to hear this. Charles Davis said, trouble is as in crime. Pete, are you saying if I commit a crime in quarter three and it's okay for me to win a quarter award for quarter four? If you get a DUI in quarter three and you kill it in quarter four, you should be able to put in, and if it's the best package, you should be able to win. That's what I'm saying. DUI is a crime. So yes, in essence. All right, I'll be quiet.
I do agree with the piece as far as EPBs cannot capture negative performance because it turns into a referral. We've talked about this before on the show, which is one of the issues of performance reporting, is that I, as a person, a ratee, get my performance report, and even more so now, There's no ratings on it now. It's just narrative statements. So here's the problem. Let's say I'm an average performer and I have someone like Sergeant Counsel that can write really well. I can make your performance report, instead of looking average, look excellent.
Very true.
And as I send it up, my supervisor, which is Sergeant Peterson, who don't give two ish, because you've got 30 other master sergeants you got to deal with, you're not going to say anything about it. You're going to pass it along. And the chief, he ain't got time, or she ain't got time, because he's got over 50 master sergeants to deal with.
Very true.
And the commander, who trusts the chief, is going to sign off on it. Here's the flip side. You have Airman Counsel, who does phenomenal work, never got an award, but does phenomenal work. And then you have Sergeant Johnson, who's a shitbag writer, writes my report, and instead of it being excellent stuff, it's average or sub-average. And the same thing happens. Sergeant Peterson don't give two ducks. He's got too much stuff going on. In other words, what I'm trying to say is the checks and balances that are put in for reports rarely work. Because what it's designed to do is the additional rater is supposed to be able to look at the report, have a knowledge of said person that the report is being written about, and either raise a flag and say, hey, this is bullish, or it makes sense. And that doesn't happen. But when you go to the awards package, that's even worse, because 9 times out of 10, the awards package, either one, is overinflated and it doesn't get noticed until usually it gets out the squadron.
True.
Like when it gets to a group, they be like, yo, it says here that he directed the operations on the gate, but he's an airman. And they be like, he did. Well, who works at the gate with him? There's a staff sergeant that works there. How he did it? Oh, he told him he could do it while he was on lunch. It's overinflated, bro. No, it's not. Someone could have got in the gate while the staff sergeant was at lunch. Bro, you writing it as if he is the person directing the operation. He did for 15 minutes.
Right.
I'm appalled there.
Let's get to a couple of these comments. Jefferson says, as a supervisor, you are putting your rep up if you put a troubled airman up for a quarterly award. I only leverage my personal credibility up for a person who is doing the work to bounce back. When your credit is low, you need a co-signer.
I agree.
Tony Bosick says it can capture subpar. It can capture subpar performance. Charles Davis said, first Sergeant Peterson, I'm going to smack the crap out of you this quarter and beat you up. But next quarter, I get Diamond Sharp award. You sure do. You sure do. It happened last quarter. Tony Bosick says Sergeant Bosick passes his QC with 72%. His squadron is third of 4 squadrons who stay on time for appointments. No negatives, just facts that can highlight weak sauce performance.
Here's an example of correct. Going back to Oshan's point, let me illustrate this. Here's a perfect example. I remember when I was a Kadena and I just got there and I had to do strats as a chief. When I went up there to the strat board, Tony Bosick's records was the first person I went up there with.
Here we go.
I threw his records on the table. I ain't had to say a word. They did all the work for me.
Okay.
They already knew who he was. They already knew how great he was. They already knew all the people in the wing. There were chiefs and freaking LRS talking about how great, he's that dude, yada, yada. I didn't have to do nothing. The next year, when Eric Thomas went in as a senior, I put his records on the board. Before that, when Eric arrived, he missed his testing date because he forgot or something. He PCS. He thought he could test when he got to Kadena. but there was a piece that he missed that he couldn't do it because we tried to get up there and fight for him to test the Cadena, but they nodded. They was like, oh, he should know better. He's a senior, yada, yada, yada. That next year, when I put him on the table, you know how many people I had to fight off that said he didn't deserve to get strated? Because they're like, he's a senior. He should have known better. How do we can say he's ready for chief when he don't know when he's supposed to test?
That's so crazy.
That's a good example.
It is a great example. It's also a great example of how crazy things are. How crazy, like you said, man. I mean, a lot. You're 100% right. A lot to it is credibility. In some ways, it's a shame. Some ways, not. I'm kind of mixed on it. If it's a shame or not.
I think there's a line between being unrealistic. I can't expect you to get a DUI and then I say, well, no, the only way I'm going to ever forget that you did it is you have to get 150 on your PT test and you have to write 500 tickets and you have to be able to do 3 backspins and a split and you've got to be able to save 3 people in a quarter. That's unrealistic. Now, if you have a great quarter, I don't see anything wrong with someone saying, hey, look, man, you had a great quarter. You're doing better, but we need to keep going. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody like, yeah, you did great work, man, but we're going to chill this quarter. You still got more stuff you need to do. I think it's how you communicate to them. If you go to them and say, look, we can't put you in because you got a DUI in the first quarter, then of course the person going to be mad like, yo, how you going to hold this against me? But it should be a conversation that says, look, we need to work on some other things. You did a great job this quarter. You did phenomenal. But we're not going to put you in because we got more work to do. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Okay. I think I just have to agree to disagree with this one. Yeah, y'all do. I mean, do whatever y'all feel is the right thing to do as long as you're consistent. I can't really argue about it. Last thing I'll leave you with is I told y'all I'll put the link in there, but there's a link in there to our Buzzsprouts fan mail where you could leave us a text message or voicemail. And if you give us permission to read it on the air or listen to it on the air, we will do so and comment behind it. So a lot of fun with that new feature that we have, something we can have some fun with. So you can go on there, leave a voicemail, basically tell us what you feel. Like Oshan just said, he could, instead of typing it, he could speak it. We could listen to it on the air and then react to it. I think we have a lot of fun with that. Let's read these 2 comments. That is another convo for our convo. The fact supervisor A has 0 game, so he written a good package versus supervisor B got charisma and knows the buzzwords and the KD's levels. Pin game means a lesser airman can win an award. That's true. I mean, that happens a lot, if not always. People forget we are in the military, not supposed to be perfect or the brightest bulb in the pack. Just have to have the right attitude, and leaders need to help with putting their people in the right place. I'm going to give you 3 for that. Don't forget that we are not supposed to be perfect. And if you judging somebody, your ass ain't perfect either. Let me remind you. From somebody who's not perfect, you're not perfect. Because I got to be the closest thing. And you ain't close to me. All right. Good show. Another great show. Back to back. Like Jordan.
You just need to realize it's the military, but that's just how it is. You can agree with it or not, but everything is not executed and covered in instruction. Your credit matters a lot, whether you believe it or not. In the end, as a person in a leadership position, you're always going to take someone's action first. You're going to consider it, just like you're in the civilian world. You're in the civilian world. You're looking at somebody to hire somebody. You can have the best suit. You can have the best resume. But if it's something about your personality or the way you reacted in the handshake or how you walked in the room could prevent you from getting the job. On the flip side, you can have somebody with a shitbag resume, somebody with a crappy suit. But if you walk in that building and you shake that interviewer's hand and y'all have a connection, maybe the same team, maybe they said something that resonate with them, I guarantee you're going to get the job over somebody with the better resume and credentials.
Yep.
Is it wrong? Depends on how you look at it. In the end, is what the person wants. So back to the conversation, if you have an airman that is a blue chipper doing a great job and they have a misstep, you're more likely going to do everything you can to help protect them because you know it's a rare thing that they got in trouble versus the person who got in trouble multiple times, maybe even one time, but they got a crappy attitude. I used to love when airmen would, like I used to tell them all the time when they got in trouble, I said, what matters most is when you got in trouble is how you reacted. Are you going to go in there? Are you going to admit where you were at fault? Or are you going to go in there and complain that everybody's against you, yada, yada, yada? And more importantly, after you receive said punishment, what are you going to do after that?
Right.
It always works out better for the person who takes it on the chin and they work hard.
True.
Versus the person that complains, self-implodes. You can't, it's hard to recover from that.
Yeah. All facts. All facts. All right, y'all. We'll go ahead and end it here. 2-hour show today, so a little bit longer than normal, but a great show nonetheless. Appreciate y'all for being on here. Like I said, we do got the fan mail out there. You guys see the comment in there, so you just click on that, leave us a voicemail. Like I said, be some fun, and probably put out a video or something coming up soon with more instructions and more details to have some fun with that. But thank y'all for being a part of this. Thank y'all for being on here. Share with your friends, tell your friends about the show so we can get everybody on here. Anybody on the Instagram who sees the short, you guys are more than welcome to come on here live and put your comments in or however you want to do it. And we appreciate everybody for being on here.
Make sure y'all hit that like button on when you're on y'all way out. If you haven't subscribed to YouTube, go ahead and subscribe there. Shout out to everybody that got us to 500 on IG. Much appreciated. We hit the 500. That's a big milestone. So now we need to get there on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to YouTube, go ahead and subscribe there. And again, we appreciate y'all. Go ahead and use that Buzzsprout, man. If y'all want to send us a message, tell us what we got wrong, what we got right, or you got ideas for the show, or you got some people who want to be guests. Feel free to jump on there, send it to us. We'll take a listen to it and we'll respond back to you.
Look, it says fan mail. Pete sucks. Pause. He can't read, and that's it. But I just said that 1 minute ago, so we good. Yeah, you can go on there and leave a voice message and say that. We love to hear your nice voice, Charles Davis. It would really make our whole day. It'd probably make my whole week. Probably make my whole quarter. So up to you.
Charles Davis.
Maybe give you a quarterly award for that. All right, we out. Unpopular celebrities. Peace, peace, peace.